My 26F boyfriend, 26M, of 3 years, abruptly dumped me via text because of someone else's Facebook post. A few minutes ago, my boyfriend of 3 years dumped me via text. It really shocked me, and his reasoning was that he found a Facebook profile that was apparently mine. It's not. And that I was a lying bitch who plays games and that we were done. This completely came out of left field. Last we spoke, which was not even 2 hours ago, everything seemed fine. I'm a few hours away ATM because I was visiting my family for Father's Day. Also, I've been helping my dad because a car accident that has left him disabled. It's been really hard for him, so I decided to spend a weekend with him. My boyfriend had to stay behind because of work. My phone was on vibrate, and I woke up to it vibrating somewhere in my room. He called twice in a row, which is a little unusual, so I tried to call him. A part of me was worried something bad happened because he never just calls seconds apart. He forwarded my call to VM after one ring, and then I got a string of enraged texts. First was a picture of a profile of some woman who shares my name, and the rest were filled with anger. How I played him for a fool, and that he was done playing games. Firstly, the woman in the pic looks nothing like me. She has black hair and blue eyes. I have auburn hair and green eyes. I also have a beauty mark above my lip on the left-hand side, and this woman has nothing. My boyfriend blocked my number, Facebook, and all that lovely stuff, and I am at a loss. This is all very sudden, and all I feel is anger and pain. I don't want my dad to hear me crying. He has enough on his plate to deal with. A little background. My boyfriend cheated on me a few months into the relationship, and I didn't learn about it until a year later. I ended up forgiving him, and things seemed fine. He was remorseful and did his damnedest to regain my trust. I can't help but wonder if he did this because he did something wrong and wants an excuse for it, or he wanted to dump me in order for him to cheat without cheating. Tomorrow is his birthday too. I wonder if he wants to be free for that day. It just makes me cry. I won't be taking him back. No way in hell. He's living in my house. Nothing is in his name he can fudge off. Right now I'm kind of shattered at the moment because I invested so much time and emotion in this person. I forgave him when he cheated on me, and now he's pulling random Facebook profiles out of his ass to use to break up with me and say I'm the shady one. What can I do to help myself? I am really at a loss right now. Thank you. TLDR, boyfriend of 3 years dumps me via text accusing me of having another Facebook despite the fact the woman in the profile looks nothing like me, and the only thing we have in common is our name. How do I move on and heal from such a callous action? Update 1. Thank you guys for your encouraging words and wisdom. It's helped out a lot. Myself and 6 other people went to my house this morning, including my brothers and lawyer uncle. My ex was sitting in his computer room playing LOL, seemingly oblivious that I came home and anyone entered the room. I promptly tapped him on the shoulder and asked him to turn off the game and pack his stuff. He shrugged my hand off and continued to talk to his teammates through what I assume was Skype or TeamSpeak. My patience for his BS is in the negative, so I bent down and unplugged the surge protector from the wall. My ex flung the headset that I bought him off of his head, and it bounced off his monitor. He stood up screaming how that was a ranked game and that I was fudging up his stats or whatever he was foaming about. My brother stepped between us and told him that he had 10 minutes to pack his things and only his things before we called the cops to have him removed. We all stepped out of the room and watched him unplug his computer and neatly stack his stuff. He tried to take my Ethernet cable and I was like, nah. A friend brought in a box, and we watched him go through the house taking the seldom things he owned, all the while texting away on his phone. It turns out he was saying some ugly things on his FB, but whatever. That is childish stuff, and water off a duck's ass to me. He tossed the box of clothes, sneakers, and DVDs/console games into the backseat of his shitty 1995 Honda, and then made it a process to take his computer out. He was more concerned his LOL game and his computer than me. He didn't make eye contact or speak to me. There was just an air of hostility that I can't even explain. I can't comprehend how someone could just suddenly hold such animosity towards someone they apparently loved. I sat on the stairs watching him go back and forth, my friend Jess recording the whole process on her cell phone just in case. She's pretty clever, LOL. It was really hard. I felt anger brewing under the indifferent exterior I was showing. A part of me wanted to throw an egg at the back of his smug head, but I know that it isn't worth it. He isn't worth any energy, negative or positive. The whole process took about 15 minutes, and we all watched on my lawn as he drove away. My uncle gave a big hug and left, and the rest of us ate pizza and watched some TV. As uneventful as it was, the whole experience was draining. It's easy when there are people around to talk to and occupy my mind, but when I'm alone, what he did keeps popping into my head and I start to get anxious. I tossed all of my bedding and sprayed my couches and chairs with deodorizer in the lame attempt of exorcising whatever foul things he may have done. I know, irrational, LOL. Today, I'm going to be heading to Bed Bath & Beyond to buy some new bedding and treat myself. I realized that being with him, I didn't really love myself. I was too preoccupied with appeasing him. Any action I took in spoiling myself, whether it be new clothes, a game, or makeup, was met with suspicion. It was all in his whacked-out head. Being alone after being in a relationship for such a long period of time is daunting. I know I'll be fine, if not awesome, after getting that cancer out of my life. I had to set up a rule with my friends and family to not talk about him to me because a friend texted how he was flooding his Facebook with pictures of himself smiling and being happy. I don't want to hear it. If he's happy that he is a resident of his mom's basement and cheats on good women with gutter scum, then so be it. In the end, whether it be 6 months from now, a year, 5 years, whatever, something in his brain will click and he will realize the massive fudge up he did the last few days. As crappy as it sounds, I hope it makes him miserable. I will be changing my locks despite taking his copy of his keys, and I think I will add extra security just in case. When he was a teen, he vandalized houses of people he didn't like, and judging from his behavior, I wouldn't put it past him to do it again. Also, I am going to the doctor tomorrow to get tests done. I don't feel anything wrong, but I won't be taking chances. This whole thing has been a life experience. He hasn't ruined any future relationships for me. He did me a favor to up my standards and reinforce my self-worth. I know what to look out for now, and I know what kind of person I deserve. Thank you again, you guys. You brought a lot of great points, and it helped tremendously. TLDR. Went home with an entourage consisting of big burly brothers and a lawyer. X had a temper tantrum that I interrupted his ranked LOL game to kick him out. Priorities? Other than that, it was peaceful. Going to splurge on nice things today, and tomorrow I will be getting STI tests done. Thank you so much for words of encouragement and compassion, guys. Relevant comments. Commenter. Well, how dare you interrupt something as important as LOL, just because you are the one whose name is on the lease? Can't you understand? He was doing something important. /S. Commenter. For reals though, isn't it, like, illegal to force someone to leave their living accommodations in 10 minutes under threat of violence? If the police had actually been called, and it was explained to them that he had been living there and they wanted him to stop living there, they can't actually remove him immediately, depending on jurisdiction? OP. It probably is. Knowing him, he wouldn't put the time and effort into pursuing it legally. The guy is inherently lazy. It was documented that he bragged about moving out on his own accord and leaving my pathetic bitchiness behind on his Facebook wall. So if he really did try to take it to court, I would show the judge those screenshots. He wasn't under threat of violence, though. He threw property in anger and came at me aggressively. Everyone was very peaceful in the matter, and it probably is immature to toss him out on his, but without forewarning, I'm just happy the leech is gone. Update 2. Okay, so things have taken a weird turn since the last update. Strap in. After kicking him out and starting the process of reclaiming my sanity, I thought I was done. But, as life likes to remind us, drama doesn't just stop when you want it to. First off, yesterday morning, I went out to get my fancy new bedding and ran into his mom of all people. She lives 2 towns over, so what are the odds? I tried to just nod politely and move on, but nope. She stopped me, all huffy and red-faced, and said something like, "How dare you humiliate my son like that?" Humiliate? Lady, I didn't even post the video of him screeching about his ranked game to TikTok, though it was so tempting. She went on this tirade in the middle of Bed Bath & Beyond, saying I was being petty and vindictive and that I had ruined his birthday. Oh, you mean the birthday he celebrated by probably firing up LOL in his mom's basement while eating Hot Pockets? Tragic. I told her calmly, but loud enough for the other shoppers to hear because I'm petty like that maybe she should be more concerned about her son's inability to act like a grown man and his habit of cheating on people who care about him. That shut her up real fast. She stormed off, and I grabbed a fluffy new duvet cover that feels like a hug. But here's where it gets even wilder. Later that night, I got a message from a number I didn't recognize. It was him. He used his mom's phone to text me because he's still blocked on everything. He said, and I quote, "I'm sorry for overreacting. I realize now it probably wasn't you on Facebook. Can we talk?" Oh, my God. I didn't reply, obviously. But then the messages kept coming. He said he felt pressured during the breakup because of the people I brought with me and that I was intimidating him. Okay, but his tantrum was totally fine, I guess. He even tried the classic, "I miss us" line. Bruh, you didn't miss me when you were foaming at the mouth about a stranger's Facebook profile. This morning, I got another text, this time from his best friend, who I haven't spoken to in months. The friend said I should give my ex another chance because he's going through a lot. Oh, really? Is his a lot the fact that he now has to pay for his own Wi-Fi and snacks? Boo-hoo. I know some of you might say to block his mom too, but honestly, I'm kind of enjoying how ridiculous this is. It's like a soap opera I'm living through, And at this point, I might as well see how far these clowns will go. Anyway, my locks are officially changed, and I'm setting up cameras outside just in case his tantrum evolves into something stupider. My dad, bless him, is staying with me for a few days because he thinks I need backup if the ex tries anything. My dad may have a bad leg, but he's got big dad energy, and I'd pay to see my ex try to test him. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Trying to rebuild my life while dodging lunatics and their enablers. If there's one thing this whole mess has taught me, it's that I need to trust my gut more. I should have kicked him out the first time he showed me who he really was. But here's to fresh starts, new bedding, and no more Lowell-induced meltdowns in my living room. TLDR, ran into my ex's mom at Bed Bath & Beyond. She accused me of humiliating him. Ex used her phone to text me apologies and excuses. His best friend tried to guilt-trip me into taking him back. Locks changed, cameras installed, dad's here for backup. Life is messy, but moving on feels pretty damn good. Update 3, y'all. I thought I was done with the circus, but it turns out the clowns are still out here performing. Buckle up because this week has been wild. So, remember how I said I changed my locks and set up cameras? Well, that decision officially paid off. A couple of nights ago, I got a motion alert on my phone at like 1 a.m. I groggily checked the camera feed, and who do I see creeping around my porch? None other than my ex, in his pajama pants and flip-flops. He was pacing back and forth, looking like he was debating whether to knock or try something dumb. I was about to call the cops when he noticed the camera, flipped at the bird, and slunk off like a raccoon caught in the trash. Honestly, it would have been funny if it weren't so creepy. The next day, I sent the footage to my lawyer uncle, and he advised me to file a police report just to have it on record. So now there's an official, why is this man lurking in pajama pants at his ex's house? File in the system. Gold star for him. But wait, it gets better or worse, depending on your tolerance for ridiculousness. That same day, I got a DM from the Facebook girl. Yes, the woman whose profile my ex used to dump me. Turns out she heard about the drama through mutual friends, small world, right? And reached out to apologize. She was super nice and said she had no idea her account was being used like that. She even sent screenshots showing that my ex had messaged her a few weeks ago. He had randomly added her, liked a bunch of her old photos, and sent a "Hey, beautiful" message. She left him on read. Let me repeat that. He ghosted me over a Facebook profile of a woman he was trying to hit on. I can't even make this up. So I sent her screenshots of his "you're a lying bitch" texts for her collection, and we had a good laugh about how unhinged he is. She called him a walking ick, which I've now added to my vocabulary forever. Oh, but the piece de resistance came yesterday. My friend Jess, the one who recorded his eviction, called to tell me that he's now dating one of her coworkers. This coworker, let's call her Brittany, was apparently bragging at work about her new boyfriend and how he's such a catch. Jess, being the legend she is, showed Brittany the video of his tantrum. Brittany's response? He was just stressed because of his ex. Excuse me? Girl, no. Now, I'm not one to meddle. Okay, maybe I am. But I told Jess she's welcome to share everything she knows about him with Brittany. If she still wants to play house with Captain Pajama Pants, that's on her. But she's not walking into this blind if I can help it. As for me, I'm feeling lighter every day. I've started redecorating my house and reclaiming my space. I even bought myself a little divorce gift, a gorgeous plant that I named Kevin, after the potted plant in the office. Kevin's doing great, by the way, unlike certain humans. I haven't heard from my ex directly since his pajama-clad escapade, but I know he's still stirring the pot. Friends keep sending me screenshots of his Facebook posts where he's trying to play the victim, talking about how I kicked him out over a misunderstanding and let people bully him. Dude, you weren't bullied. You were escorted out like the freeloading man-child you are. Anyway, I'm done letting him live rent-free in my head, since he's not living rent-free in my house anymore. My lawyer uncle says I've got grounds for a restraining order if he keeps this up, so that's comforting. To everyone who's been rooting for me, thank you. This whole experience has been a dumpster fire, but it's also been kind of empowering. I'm learning to laugh at the absurdity of it all, and honestly, laughter feels so much better than anger. TLDR, X showed up on my porch at 1 a.m., got caught on camera, and fled when he realized I was recording. Found out he messaged the Facebook girl he accused me of impersonating. He's now dating someone new, and she's already making excuses for his red flags. Meanwhile, I'm thriving with my new plant, Kevin. Life is messy but hilarious. Final update. Well, folks, it's time to close this ridiculous chapter of my life. Strap in one last time because this story couldn't end quietly. Nope, it had to go out with a bang. After the pajama pants porch incident, things went quiet for about a week. I thought maybe, just maybe, He'd finally crawled back under the rock he came from. I even started to feel some genuine peace. Kevin the plant was thriving. My house smelled amazing thanks to a candle haul, and I got back into yoga. Life was good. Then yesterday, I got a call from my neighbor. She sounded nervous and said, there's someone in your driveway, and it looks like they're trying to spray paint something. Excuse me? I pulled up my camera feed, and sure enough, there he was, my ex, holding a can of spray paint, mid-doodle on my driveway. I couldn't quite make out what he was writing, but it looked like it started with liar. Very creative. My neighbor must have scared him off because by the time I got there, he was gone, leaving behind a half-finished insult and a can of paint. I called the cops and gave them the footage. They said they'd look into it, which I didn't have high hopes for. But here's the kicker. While I was talking to the officer, my phone buzzed. Guess who was live streaming on Facebook? Yep, my ex. In the stream, he was ranting about how I ruined his life, calling me names, and get this, bragging about how he marked his territory on my driveway. The best part? He was still wearing the same pajama pants. I couldn't even be mad. It was so pathetic that I laughed. But I screenshotted the hell out of that live stream, and when I showed it to the cops, their tune changed real quick. They went to his mom's house that same day and arrested him for vandalism and trespassing. Apparently, he tried to argue that it was a joke, but the live stream kind of killed that defense. So yeah, he's got a court date now. Meanwhile, I spent the afternoon power washing my driveway and adding another layer of security to my house because, honestly, I don't trust him to stop being dumb. Oh, and remember Brittany, the coworker he started dating? Turns out she dumped him. Jess told me she came into work crying about how he's so much drama and has issues with boundaries. Brittany, honey, welcome to the club. As for me, I'm officially moving on. I've booked a solo trip to a cabin in the mountains where I can disconnect from everything for a few days. I'm leaving tomorrow, and I cannot wait to sit by a fire, sip some wine, and soak in the silence. No Facebook posts. No spray painting clowns. Just me, the trees, and Kevin. Yes, Kevin's coming with me because I'm attached now. To everyone who stuck with me through this mess, thank you. Your comments, advice, and hilarious reactions kept me sane. I'll probably never understand how I put up with that man-child for 3 years, but at least I can say I learned something. Always trust your gut, and if someone shows you who they are, believe them. Life feels lighter now. The drama is finally over, and I'm ready for whatever comes next. Except for pajama pants. Those are officially ruined for me. TLDR, ex spray-painted half an insult on my driveway, bragged about it on a Facebook live stream, and got arrested for vandalism. His new girlfriend dumped him, and I'm heading to the mountains for some much-needed peace. Goodbye, drama. Hello, freedom.